been a couple days now. I was going to ask you about this yesterday, but I forgot. Jim Johansson's passing. Just what did he mean to you? What did he mean to USA Hockey? I guess to start there.
Yeah, forget about, don't forget about, we all know what he means to USA Hockey. We all know what he means to so many kids that are playing and some that are not playing, as far as what he's done for them and their families. But the biggest thing for me is he's the type of guy that you'd want to emulate in how you act. Gracious, just as humble as you can be, just knows how to deal with people, knows how to deal in situations when people struggle. He was just a really good person. And yeah, it's we lose another really good person. Some of the stuff that goes on in our world today and where we're at and all the things that are going on around us, to lose this man at this time, it has to test your faith. It tests mine. So yeah, I feel just terrible for the people that he's touched, for Abby and Ellie, just starting his family. Just talked to him last month, how excited he was on where he was going with his family. He is going to be missed in so many ways. Everybody seems to talk about USA Hockey, but there are a lot more important things in USA Hockey and what he's done for people. You're not going to fill that hole, and I just wish their family the very best.
Strikes this team pretty hard too. You got like 9 guys in there. You yourself had dealings with them as well. I mean, can you guys look around the room though, at least, and when something like this happens, you can kind of share stories, stuff like that,
Yeah, I think you do eventually. I haven't gotten there. I still haven't totally wrapped my head around it. We just saw him just a few weeks ago, and he's a type of guy when you see, you light up, and because you know something good's going to come your way in that conversation. So yeah, it's a bit of a shock to all of us that know him up close and personal. It's just how many lives he's touched, being taken away so early. It's hard. It's hard.
Getting back to the time off that you guys have had and being able to get back to working on structure and stuff, looking at the penalty kill, and then you don't talk about the power play, but do you feel like you've been able to get some good work in there? On what? On the penalty kill and trying to get that back to where it was.
Yeah, we've done a lot of video work with it over the few days. I thought we took a step in the right direction the other night. I thought it was a very big part of us getting points in that game. Remember, this penalty killing was top 5 in the league. It wasn't there for a long time, but the stretch we had to get us there, we were really consistent. We're last on the road, and that's something we have to straighten out. I think we're 4th or 5th at home. Bradshaw puts a lot of work into it. I think the biggest thing that he's trying to work with them is trusting one another. I think that's a huge point in when you're dealing with a power play, again, going against the best teams, the opposing team's best players. I think we took a step in the right direction in our last game against Dallas.
And momentum can change so quickly when.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, special teams. It's not always. Our special teams, we're not going to have good numbers at the end of the year. We're not. You just don't recoup and look at your numbers and say, boy, we had a really good year. We came back and those numbers are going to look ugly. But it's each individual game in where you can make a difference. That's how we're trying to go about it, and how important both are in creating or stopping momentum from the opposing team. So they're very important that way. Even if you don't get always the result that you want, it's gaining momentum off of it.
John, when you see such disparity like that on home versus away, do you have any theories as to
No.
why? It's strange, right?
No, Shawzy and I looked at one another today because he wanted to get the stat before the meeting, and we just kind of looked at one another. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no home advantage and away advantage, I think, in any categories anymore in the National Hockey League. Mm-hmm. It's a bit vanilla there. So why it's that way, I have no idea.
You feel like you get a pretty good gauge on it tonight, though, against this offense? It can be prolific.
Yeah, well, it's a good team. It's a good team full of confidence, and it's not about getting a gauge on it. It's about just trying to solidify ourselves, and that's where I thought we did a really good job against Dallas. We take a too many men in the ice penalty. End of a game, usually that's in the back of your net. I thought we did a really good job there. So hopefully we could just sustain it and try to feel good about ourselves in those situations that gives our team a little bit of juice.
Same lineup tonight?
Bob's in net, and same lineup.
You encouraged by Johnson and Savard last game, the way they played?
I thought it was probably both of them played really well. I think Jack probably played his best game as far as just making a decision and going with it. Had a really good game killing penalties, made quick decisions, aggressive decisions. I think it helped our penalty killing. On the first goal, it's kind of a crazy goal, bounces around, but if you look at the first play that starts that, it's Jack. We get a neutral zone turnover, and Jack doesn't look to his partner, doesn't look anywhere except up the ice and gets the puck up the ice right away. That's when Jack is playing well, and it's something him and I have talked all year long. I'm not worried about mistakes as long as they're mistakes that is a decision and go with it, not being in between. Jack's not a good player. No player is good playing in between, especially in the back end. I thought Jack made a tremendous stride there, and Savvy played very well too.
Do you feel like these last few practice days were good for Bob in particular because he's coming off that layoff, whatever, it gives him a chance to really kind of have,
Yeah, and that was the game plan. Corpy stayed in, did his work. He was more ready to play. The amount of work that Bob's got in the past couple of days, I think, because listen, we play 2 games in 3 nights here. I mean, I think we've played 3 games in 17 days or something like that. It's coming. In February and March, it's coming. So this was a really good opportunity for Bob to not only get away from a little bit of the pressure of just being ready to play, because you don't have a really good practice as a goalie when you play the games all the time. So it gave him a really good chance to work on his technique, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, and get himself ready, because he's going to play a lot of hockey here. And Corpy stood in there and played very well for us.
Is that something you stress to the guys, like, hey, we're taking some time off, we're practicing now, but boy, coming up, we're going to have sprint, not the.
I don't talk too much with the team about what's ahead of us. Just the next game is plenty. But I thought the 4 days were really good. The 3 practice days and plus a day for the players to get together. I thought it was really good for us at a time of year I think we need it, with the injuries and just some of the things going on around the team. And just I think we've been a 500 hockey team since Doobie went down and we started having the injuries. I think we're a 500 hockey club, which to me, I went into the whole thing with all those injuries about just staying afloat, I think they've done a pretty good job of that. But now they know guys are knocking on the door to get back in the lineup. This is a very important part of our season. I think they're mentally ready for it.
A number of guys yesterday spoke of the bonding. I know it's kind of an ambiguous term, but do you get a sense that these days have been good for that?
Yes, yeah. We wouldn't have planned it if we didn't think it was going to help our team. And yeah, I stay out of their way when they're off the ice, but I did talk to Nick after their day off and asked him how things were going. He said it was just so good for the hockey club. It was so good for guys to be one another. In a great city. In a great city. It was really good. And sometimes it's not always the short-term goal, but it's a long-term goal when you're building your team and you're building your organization, as we can continue to do here. So I thought it was a very important time for us.